Now it's time to get a little bit more exciting, a little bit more challenging. We want to get into user input and output. So let's say scanner example. Create public static void main string art. And now we're finally going to get into how to get input from the user. Now, we're going to use the scanner class. The scanner class is just one of many, many different classes that Java provides for you to get input. The scanner class is a class that you can use to get input from the internet, from files, from standard input, lots of different places. Today we're just going to cover getting standard input from the keyboard. So I'm just going to call it in, and I could have called it input, could call it Tom, I could call it Phil. The name is not, let's capitalize that, not important. Whatever variable name you want is fine. It really doesn't matter. However, with variables, I strongly suggest you make the variable name something that makes sense. So I'm going to call it maybe keyboard. And that equals new scanner. And that's the basics of how to create a scanner object. Notice that this starts with a capital S, just like the string class. It's not a primitive, so it's not an int or a double or a char. This is a class that someone else created for us with all sorts of capabilities. So since we're only doing the keyboard, we'll type in system.in. If we want to type something out to the keyboard, like the standard out, system out print line. Does this look familiar? Now if you notice, system in is input and system out is output. So when we say scanner keyboard equals new scanner system.in, we're saying I want to get input from system.in. So if we run this and try and compile it, it will not work. First, it's going to want me to save, which is always a good thing. I will save it here. And then it'll say, ooh, I can't find the symbol. I have no idea what. See how it's pointing right here? The little caret is pointing to scanner. Cannot find symbol. Here's that. It's pointing to scanner. Doesn't know what scanner is. So we need to import java.utils in the util package .scanner. There we go. Now it should compile, and that's great. If I run it, then all it says is, does this look familiar? I haven't actually used the scanner object yet. I've created it, but I haven't used it yet. So I'm going to change this prompt and say, please enter a string. There we go. And then, how do I actually get something? Well, I'm going to get a string. There are two specific types of strings that we care about. Let's get the first one. I'm going to say the line. And this equals keyboard.nextLine. And then I'm just going to print this right back out. System out println you typed. Now let's go ahead and put a star, stop it there, concatenate it, and then the line. And then I will concatenate it with a star right here. So I get the exact input. The exact input will be surrounded by these stars or asterisk signs. Compile that. Everything looks great. Run it. Please enter a string. How about I like to eat cheese, period. Boom. You typed, and here it says, because I've got the asterisk or the star, I like to eat cheese right there in between those stars. Great. Now, if you notice, when it says next line, it gets the entire line. So you typed, and I'm going to say, this is this is the entire line. We'll go ahead and press enter so you can still see it. And a line. And you typed, this is the entire line. Oop, forgot to put this. A line. That works great. Okay, what if we only want to get a single string? So string, a string, I'll just say str, equals keyboard.next. So I'm going to give it a prompt again. Prompts are always good so the user knows what in the world's going on. And then I'm going to copy this again. So you typed, this is one string, too many S's. There we go. And then a string. There we go. Should be able to see all that now. Good. We'll run that. So this is a line. So a line showed up. And then I'm going to type a line again. And then notice what it gave me. So the big difference between nextLine and next is they both return strings, but nextLine returns the entire thing. Next, on the other hand, just returns the first string and stops at the first white space. White space is either a space, or it could be an enter or tab, whatever. Let's go through some examples. Another example. And here's another example. Boom. Notice it stopped at exactly the first space. What happens if we get this? We say, let's get the second string there. We'll say second string, and then print that out. Second string. So another example, and this one gets the whole line. Good. So notice another example, the whole thing. And then here I'll say another example. Boom. And so when I said keyboard.next, that got another. And then I said keyboard.next again, it got example. All of this white space, all of it was completely ignored. And that's one of the great things about the scanner. It ignores all sorts of things for us that we don't want. So nextLine gets the entire line. Next just gets the next string. That's the big difference there. Another few that we care about is nextInt and nextDouble. So system out println, please enter an int. So we'll say int a equals keyboard.nextInt, and then let's see if I can copy that. You typed an int, and we want to put in a. All right, please type an int. I'll put a 3. Hey, it worked. I got a 3. Let's put in, say, something like 3.14, and ooh, bad things happened. It was expecting an int, and you put in something besides an int. And it says exception main java.util input mismatch exception. Mismatch is it was expecting an int and you gave it a double. We can run that again and give it something like the cat in the hat, and it'll give us the same error. We'll have an entire section on exceptions, on how to take care of this, how to clean up these kind of situations. But for now, we just know what it means when we get this kind of exception. So it only works when you type in a valid int. There you go. Let's change this now, and we'll put in a double. Double dub equals keyboard.nextDouble. And we'll copy this. And I should also give them a prompt so that they know what to expect, even though they is me. Please enter a double. And then change A to dub and a double. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So it says please enter an int, so 4 and a double. What happens if I just put a 4? It says you entered a double. And it changed this 4, even though it was an int, to a double. So, okay, let's do it again. 4 and 4 point bunch of decimal places. And there you go. So that's the scanner class in a nutshell. You can use it for all sorts of things, like I said, from the internet, reading files. But for now, this is just a tutorial on how to read from the input. Remember, it's scanner, whatever object variable name you want to give it, new scanner, and system.in.